Hi guys, in this video we're gonna talk about a popular Java question, which is what is the purpose of garbage collection and when it is used. Okay, so let's read the theoretical answer and then we'll see the code. Okay, the purpose of garbage collection is to identify those objects that are no longer needed for the application. It is used to collect and garbage all the unnecessary objects in order to free space in the heap memory. Okay, so the definition is clear. This is clearly telling us that the purpose of garbage collection is to identify those objects, the objects that are no longer needed for the application. And it is done in order to free space in the heap memory. Okay, so there are a couple of ways we can make an object eligible for garbage collection. So the ways are nullifying the reference variable, reassigning the reference variable, object creation inside a method, and island of isolation. In this video, we're going to talk about the first two way, which is nullifying the reference variable and reassigning the reference variable. Okay, so in the nullifying the reference variable, when we create an object, after creating the object, we can assign null to the reference variable. Whenever we do this, the object will be eligible for the garbage collection. So in this example, as we can see that we create a test class object and the reference variable is t1, and after creating the object, we reassign t1 as null. So after this line is executed, this test class object is eligible for garbage collection. So let's look into the code. So here is our test class. So we have two instance variable, name and age. We have two constructor. One is for name and another one is for age. And here is our main method. So let's create an object for the test class. So for this object, we are passing a string, which is a name. Now we're gonna reassign this t1 reference variable as null. So now this object is eligible for garbage collection. Okay, let's look at the second approach, which is reassigning the reference variable. Okay, so again we need this object. Now we're gonna reassign this object to another object, I mean this reference variable. So when this reference variable will point to another object, this object will be referenceless. So then this object will be eligible for garbage collection. So let's do this. This time we are passing an integer because we have two constructor, right? One is for string and another one is for integer. So both of them we can pass separately. So now we reassign this t1 to this object. Because of this line, now this object is eligible for garbage collection. Okay, so let's read the theory again. Okay, so how to request JVM to run garbage collector. So once we make an object eligible for garbage collection, it may not be destroyed immediately by garbage collector. Whenever JVM runs garbage collector, then only object will be destroyed. But when exactly JVM runs garbage collector, we don't know. It is varied from JVM to JVM. Instead of waiting until JVM runs garbage collector, we can request JVM to run garbage collector programmatically. But JVM will accept our request. There is no guarantee, but most of the times JVM accept our request. So the explanation of this, whenever we make an object eligible for garbage collection, it does not mean that JVM call the garbage collector immediately. It may or may not call the garbage collector immediately, but whenever JVM call the garbage collector, we don't know when. So that's why we can call the garbage collector explicitly by using code. So there are a couple of ways we can do that. So the first approach is by using system class, which is a method called GC method. GC means garbage collector. So the system class contain a static method GC for this purpose. So as it is a static method, so we can just call this method using the class name, so system.gc. So another approach is by using runtime class object. Java application can communicate with JVM by using runtime class object. Runtime class present in java.lang package, and it is a singleton class. We can create runtime class object by using runtime.getRuntime method, and then we have to store this in a runtime type variable, and then by using this reference variable we can call the GC method. So this is another approach to call garbage collector explicitly. So let's see this in the code. So the first approach is very simple. We just have to call by using the class name like system.gc. So in here system is the class name and GC is the method. So it's a static method. That's why we are being able to call this method by using the class name. And the second approach is we have to call this method getRuntime by using the runtime class object, and then we have to store it into a runtime type variable. And by using this reference variable we can call the GC method. So yeah, this is another approach how we can call the garbage collector explicitly. So that